What's up and welcome back. And I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And this is Touch. Right now I'm touching you. So that's what this is. If you feel it, I'm touching you with my mind. Actually, it's the name of the movie, but I could be touching you with my mind. You wouldn't know it. I'm that good. This movie does have audio description. It's on Peacock. And it's the one service that literally will not let me disable the skipping credits thing. I've searched it. I have asked around. It cannot be disabled. It will force you into something else. So anyway, I so I don't know who did this, but that's okay because it's good. The audio description to this is really highly functional audio description. What I mean by that is the film is largely in Japanese. So the film is largely transitory. It's like largely just translating the whole time. It's just giving us a lot of dialogue. But it's also, I really like the way we do it this way because you can hear the original actor underneath it, so I can still hear their performance and I can still grade their performance. You know what I'm saying? Like I can still be like, oh, I can hear the emotion in the original actor when they're talking instead of, oh, it's translated, so I can't understand it. Which happens with dubbing. Sometimes dubbing just completely obliterates the original soundtrack to the movie and just like remakes one, like creates a brand new one. So sometimes this is better to just have the audio description way of doing things, and it's better if you can use more than one voice, which this does. So I liked it. I like the audio description to this film, and it seemed tonally to very match the film. And look at me leading with audio description. I haven't even told you what the damn film's about. But that's because I'm a blind film critic. For my blind audience, while you're sitting here enjoying the stuff about audio description, I've also got my purple baseball cap on today, black sunglasses, and I'm wearing a Punisher t-shirt, actually. So, totally not right for this film. This is like Past Lives, the like spiritual sequel, uh, in many ways. So, I think that's why it's not registering, is because it came out the year after Past Lives and people were like, didn't we just see a film like this? And it's like, kind of, but not. You didn't really see, in many ways, I want to say I like this more than Past Lives. But at the same time, Past Lives asked a really important question, and I felt like reached to a human truth about people. For me with Past Lives, I didn't have it in like my top because I didn't love it as much as everybody did. But at the same time, I really love the question that it posed, which was, if you had the chance to meet somebody again that you hadn't seen in so many years, what would you do? And these people were not at the, in the twilight of their life either. So they were childhood friends who grew up and had a meeting as adults, largely brought on by the advent of social media. And for me, it had me thinking not necessarily about, because not everybody has like a crush that lasts forever, when you're that age, when you're like 12 or 13. I didn't have one. So, but I was like, man, I had some friends back then. I felt like I was like ride or die, and I haven't heard from them since. So that made me think. This one doesn't really have that. This film is pretty much way more straightforward, and it spends a lot of time in flashback mode. So while we do see Christopher as an old man, as the lead protagonist, as he's trying to hunt down this old friend of his, he's got this diagnosis. We see him early on getting this diagnosis from a doctor, and he sort of explains his problem at some point during the film. So feels like he's on somewhat borrowed time, and he kind of has to resolve this thing that he feels like he needs to resolve somewhat quickly. We also get to see him in the past as a young Icelandic man who decides to drop out of college and work in a Japanese restaurant, learn Japanese, and absorb Japanese culture. And his friends are all like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "This is me now. This is what I do." All right, cool. And of course, there at the restaurant, he gets hired by this man who has a daughter that's about the same age as him, and they strike up a friendship, which then becomes romantic because, of course, it does. And it's very lovely and nice. I liked it. It's a very nice. It's a very quiet movie. It's a very nice, sort of solid movie. I don't know any of these actors. I don't really need to. I didn't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very weird. It's like I don't know anybody in this film, but it didn't deter me from enjoying the film. I just uh you know, I sort of like the journey. And then every once in a while we flash back to Christopher and he's meeting somebody else from his past life and he's like, "Oh, have you heard from her? Do you know where she is?" And it's like he's on this slow journey to find his true love. And it feels so much like past lives, but like from a different perspective, just like a different way of going about it, different top point of your age in life, um, people who actually were connected romantically instead of like two kids who liked each other and were like, what about the possibilities? It's like, well, they never actually slept together because they were 12. So it's, yeah. So here they do, and it's in the film. So for those of you looking for that, it is audio described. You're weird. Yeah, I like this. I like this. It's a nice film, and I feel like it's not really getting any attention. I actually had to search for it in Peacock. Somebody else mentioned. I never even saw it. Like, I always check the just added. I didn't even see it hit just added. And somebody else was like, "Oh yeah, Touches on Peacock." Shout out to Lee Pugsley from the Dark Room. And I was like, "What? When did it hit Peacock?" And it was on Peacock, but it wasn't in their just added section. And it's not that old. It's a 2024 film. I was like, why is this not up here? Why are all these old ass movies and just added? Where's Touch? Um, I don't know. It just made me think, like, I was like, what else is on Peacock that's new? Can I search by release year? Can I search 2024 movies? But yeah, it's there if you want to watch it with audio description. Uh, Surprisingly so, because again, it's a small movie with a cast that I don't think anybody recognizes, but I love watching films with people I don't know, and casts I don't know, and directors I don't know, and perspectives and opinions and voices and all that stuff. Yes, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. So I really recommend Touch. I liked it more than Past Lives. I'm gonna be the one person who did, and so I'm gonna say it. For me, I just thought this was a more well-rounded film. I think Past Lives has the more interesting question. This is clearly just the more typical story of, at the in the twilight of your career, trying to make up for lost time type of thing, and doing it in a very interesting way. So this film feels a little bit more typical. Past Lives had a question that I thought was more profound. So I'll give it that. But at the end of the day, I prefer Touch as a complete holistic film. I'm not saying Past Lives is bad. This edges it out. So, and I like the audio description track here, but I like the audio description track on Past Lives as well. So it's fine. They're both good. Watch either one of them. I don't know. Watch them, marathon them, and see which one makes you cry the most. I don't know. This is a thing. So anyway, I'm gonna give Touch an A-. I liked it, and you will too. Just trust yourself on it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.